Hello people, 12:55, 20th market closed until next week. Today we're gonna talk about discovery. So what is discovery? Discovery is just simply what session has to do, what every single session has to do, which is a first high, a first low, breach 1 and breach 2. Cool. Um so let's use today's session for example. So we need in every single session, yeah, Asia, London, and New York, what you should be looking for is a first high, a first low, yeah, and two breaches to the upside, two breaches to the downside for both the first high and the first low. Okay, you also need to look if um you also need to look if there's delta printing, and that delta has to print in the first high, first low, or the breaches. The what's it called? The order is not, it's not really important. Okay, the order is not important at all. Okay, so it could be first low first, first high first, whatever. The order doesn't matter. But when you're looking at delta, okay, the first candle that prints delta that aligns with the requirements, that's our delta candle. Okay, so let me just load up Atom real quick. So let's use today's session as an example. Okay, so we have first high. Okay, zoom in as much as you need. Okay, flat bodies facing to the upside. Cool, flat bodies facing to the upside. Now, their requirements for delta, since we have short inventory from Asia, we need to look, then London will be long inventory for the Asia to London inverse. Cool. So Asia short inventory, so we need to look for a bullish candle with a bearish delta. Okay, so this is what I mean. So we got first high. Okay, then our first low sits right here. Our first low is right here. Flat bodies facing to the downside. 10:30, 10:45. Okay, so now we need breaches to the upside and breaches to the upside. So first high, land across or up to the highest point. Breach 1, breach 2. Cool. Lowest point, yeah, we got breach 1, breach 2. Okay, now first low, breach 1 and breach 2 printed here. 1:45, 2 o'clock. Okay, just want to clarify, this is considered as a breach. So we got two types of breaches. Okay, we've got option A, yeah, option A, first candle that breaks the first high or low, and then the second one, all we have push to the upside, then push to the downside. Cool. Preferably we want option A. Always. This is what we want. But option B can be accepted. Can be accepted by the market. temporarily though. Most of the time we want to see this option A. Okay, now with that in mind, which one breach 2? Okay, now we got delta at 9:15. Okay, so if we go 9:15 session, we got bullish candle with minus 64 delta. Cool. Now the reason we need that that's the delta candle is because we need, so Asia lost short inventory, London long inventory for the inverse, so we need a bullish candle with bearish delta. So it can do this, it can leave price, it can leave delta candle, come back to it, and then push. Okay, but in order for delta to be used that way, a session has to print the discovery first. Okay, so first high, first low, and the breaches. And remember this, discovery is always in the direction of the previous session. So if we have Asia like this, London inventory is this way. Okay, the inverse on the other hand would be the other way. The inverse is this. So discovery is always in the direction of the previous session. So Asia short inventory, discovery from London will be to the downside. Okay, now we got London long inventory, the discovery will be to the downside. I mean to the upside. And the inverse would be to the downside. So discovery, and then inverse. Okay, with that in mind, yeah, take a look at this. We go first high, we go first low, we go breach 1, breach 2 to the upside. Okay, now we know that in order for this candle, yeah, to be used, yeah, in order for this candle to be used, there has to be breach 1 and 2. Yeah, so we need a first low firstly. So when we see delta in that moment, we wouldn't have this first low. So we would need, in order for this to be used, for delta to be used, we need a first low. Yeah, we needed a first low, breach 1 and 2 to the downside for the first high too. So let's say, forget about this, yeah. So we go first high right here, then we go delta 9:15. In this moment, yeah, when we see this, and then we see the revisit to delta low, a lot of people would have taken longs, okay, without having in mind that we would need a first low to print and the breaches to the downside. Okay, because have in mind, how is price going to lift off? Yeah, how is price going to push higher? Yeah, if there's breaches to the downside pending. So all of this move is not excess. This move, yeah, is so the breaches to the downside can print. Because look, yeah, so 9:15 delta candle, price revisits delta low, invalid longs. Why? Because we need a first low. Cool. Then 10:30, 10:45, first low. But now we still need breaches to the downside for the first low and for the first high. Okay, so now breach 1 for the first low, breach 1, breach 2 to the downside. So first low downside breach is complete. Now we still need breaches to the downside for the first high. Okay, so this is not excess. Yeah, this is not irrelevant because this is going towards the direction of the discovery. Okay, because once again we still need the breaches to the downside. So if we take the lowest point from the first high, we go breach 1, breach 2, yeah, and then price rotates. As soon as breach 1 and breach 2 from the first high are complete, so now discovery is complete, yeah, push 380 pips, You say 411 pips. Okay. As soon as breach one, breach two, print. And always, what do I say about the third candle? Okay, that breaks the second breach. Take a look at this. Yeah, that third breach that breaks the second breach is always used. Look at this. Push comes back, longs. Okay, but yeah, that's the discovery. Discovery completes one two, rotates smoothly back up. Cool. But now, only problem is, cool. Now price goes returns to delta, revisits delta low. But by this time, 2 o'clock, time ran out. Why? Because now New York opens. New York, different session. So now we need discovery. Cool. We need the discovery. So take a look at this now. Yeah? We go first high. 145, 2 o'clock. Okay. So now discovery is to the upside. Yeah. Inverse, opposite way. Okay. So now we need first high. We need breaches to the downside and breaches to the upside. No breaches to the upside. To the downside, though. We got lowest point. We got breach one, breach two. Option B. Preferably, we would want a second candle to the downside. But for now, this seemed to be accepted. Okay. Delta prints 1530. Delta requirements are so London long inventory, New York short inventory. So we need a bearish candle with bullish delta. So if we take a look at the footprint chart, 1530. Let's go to 1530. 1530 bearish candle with bullish delta 127. So that's our delta candle. Okay, first look. Breach one, breach two as well. So now we got first high, no breaches to the upside, breaches to the downside. Now we got first low. Cool. Now this delta is to be used to the downside. So for price to do this, come back to delta and push. Okay. But like I said, delta can only be used if discovery is complete. Meaning, now you got two ways of using delta. Okay, you can use the delta for push, revisit, push to the downside. Yeah, or you can also use it for the discovery. Okay, so yes, now we know that we got breach one, breach two for the to the downside for the first high. Okay, and we also need for the first low, we also need breaches to the downside. But discovery has to be completed, meaning we need these two breaches to the upside, okay, above the first high, yeah, in order for price to return back to delta, revisit it, and then push even lower. If those two breaches are not complete, delta can't be used because discovery is not complete. Do you understand that? Yeah. So it's like I say on the ancillary delta footprints. Okay. Discovery price must revisit delta or the zone once discovery is complete. If the discovery is not complete, delta won't be revisited. So we need breaches. We need, like I said, discovery. So long inventory from London. Yeah. So New York's inventory is to the upside. Yeah. So if we don't have the inventory, yeah, if we don't have the inventory to the upside, so breach one and breach two above the first high, we won't see a revisit to the downside. and used it, delta being used. Okay. So in order to see these moves, yeah, you're gonna have to stay patient, because yes, you might want to short. So because a lot of people, the way they think is cool. Now we got delta candle, yeah. Now all we need is price to revisit and then take shorts. No, discovery has to be complete. So we need to see upside breaches first, then delta will be able to be used. But if there's no discovery, then it can't be used. That's why I went longs from here. I went longs from here, okay, because I knew that we need the discovery to be complete. So I used delta, even though this is bearish delta, I used delta to push even higher. So the opposite direction, basically, because we need discovery first. Do you understand? So that's the importance of knowing. This is literally all mechanical. This is just how sessions work. Sessions work that way. Sessions work that way. Yeah, that's how it works. Look, delta couldn't be used here because session ran out. We ran out of time, meaning New York has to do its own thing now. Okay, this was London's job. Okay, but New York, yeah, won't be able to print discovery first and then return, because now New York has its own role, which is print first high, first low breaches. So New York has to complete its own discovery. Yeah.